I see me. I don't know if I'm live. Am I live?
You are live. Yeah, unfortunately, my internet is again acting up. But you are live. Take it, sir.
I am live. Okay. Well, hi guys. And the issues continue. Wow, Zach's been having computer issues in his neck of the woods for, oh my gosh, since today's Monday, since last week, Thursday. Yeah, I was on his show, his 22-hour marathon show last Thursday at 1:30 a.m. Pacific, and he was having major issues between Comcast issues and Facebook eventually kicking him off right in the middle of his marathon broadcast. Poor guy. Zach, I'll send you try to send you a nice birthday gift or Christmas gift this year for hanging in there. Anyway, to all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry Live 2.0. I'm your host, Sean Whittington. I'm a deacon in the United States Old Catholic Church, soon to be ordained um, into the priesthood. That's very exciting. Not much to tell you about me. If you want to know more about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. When you go there to visit, a lot of cool things to see. Um, Keep in mind that my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you're there and you're able to do so and you notice the donate button, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. What else do I want to tell you guys? Yeah, everything's there on the website. Both my books, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry, and God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry 2. If you buy them off the website, I autograph them and they come to you in a house blessing kit. And part of the proceeds of every sale of every book sold off of the website, proceeds go to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. So that's very cool. You can also get the books a little less expensive at Amazon, but they don't come to you in a house blessing kit or autographed from Amazon. But the ones off the website leave my office here. So there you go. There's my course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare course you can enroll in, online course. And there's also a place where you make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues. What else do I want to tell you guys? That's it. Tonight's a very special night. It happens the last Monday of every night, but you all already knew that. That's why you tuned in. I love her. I respect her. I've known her a long time. This is Happy Medium Monday. So without further ado, give a big, warm paranormal ministry welcome to my special co host, the one and only Happy Medium herself, live from Cape Cod, Susan Ahern. I'm not Susan.
I should have ducked. I wanted to duck. I'm like, oh,
Oh, wow.
just to mess
Okay.
with you.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how long we're going to be on for. We'll
So
see
make
what.
it good. Hurry up.
What did I want to say to you? Earlier today, we had sent a couple of messages back and forth,
Hmm.
and it was funny. You signed off on one of your messages. See you later, old friend. And I knew that it could have gone either way. I was partial dig at my age, but I knew it wasn't that. I knew it was because it just dawned on me how long we've known each other. And I think it was meant to be because here you were. I didn't know you. You didn't know me. You are up late one night being harassed by the farting ghost, and you're watching this obscure paranormal radio show or listening to this
Hmm.
obscure paranormal radio show on the weekend, and I happen to be the guest. And without, I hate to put words in your mouth, but I know exactly what you were thinking. You were like, where has this man been all my life? So you reached out to me afterwards and sent me a friend request. We became instant friends. Since that time, you've become really close with my wife. Um, and I just love you and I respect you and I think you're super cool. And um, I really am grateful that you said yes. I don't think it's been 3 years now, something like that. You've been doing
At
these.
least, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Happy
have
Media
you gone
Mondays.
back on that show? You need to. You wrote good books.
Hold
You
on.
need
Let
to get
me let
on
me
there.
let me think.
I don't think
I
you
don't.
have. Mm-mm.
If he's not watching my show, I'm sure, but I
Oh,
feel
Dave.
bad that
I
I
love
can't.
Dave.
When
Oh,
it wasn't Dave, it was his co-host that took over the show for the weekend. Tall guy, long beard, bald head, lived in Canada, and I can't
yeah.
remember
I
his
don't
name.
think he's still alive, to be honest. I think he
Oh
passed.
no.
I think he might have, but that could be a rumor, and I don't want to start bad rumors.
Hmm.
So, um,
James.
mm,
Was it James Tyson? He had the Oracles with James Tyson
oh
later.
no, he's still alive. I think.
Okay.
See what happens? You start talking to the dead,
Um,
and you think everybody's dead.
I haven't
Ugh,
talked to James in, oh my gosh, I can't remember the last time I spoke to James. Life happens
yeah.
and people's paths go in different directions.
Well,
Maybe I'll
you
try
need
and
to. You need to go
track him
back on that
down.
show. It's a great show. I still listen to it.
Here's the thing.
Here's the
I
thing,
was never invited on that show by Dave, and I forget Dave's last name. Um,
Dave. Right? It's like
Dave,
Dave.
just Dave.
Dave. Just Dave.
Um, it
Yeah.
was his show. He did it Monday
Hmm.
through Friday. He never invited me on. I hate to invite myself on or pressure people. Hey,
Hmm.
what you doing? Ever have an opening for a guest?
Yeah.
Don't forget me. I
Right.
hate
Because it
doing that.
is. It's a weird feeling. You can't. I can't do that. Hey, do you want to hear me
But then
talk?
I know that James left and started his own thing,
Hmm.
and then our paths just kind of separated there. But anyway, let me just let everybody, for all the
Okay.
people that haven't seen you on this show before, and I can't think of who hasn't, they've been following you for a while. It's very simple. If you want a free live on air psychic reading from Susan, just type your question in for her. She would love a name. Your name, your question, type it into the live chat room. She'll see it, she'll read it, she'll give you your reading. No conjuring of spirits tonight because that's a completely different type of show. It takes a lot of energy out of her and a lot of time.
That's it.
It's just like these quickie readings. Ask about love, work, travel, health, things like that.
Money. Everybody wants to know
Money, yeah,
money. Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I got our regular. Right. Oh, okay. So I had to tap that. So that's going off. So we're going to keep our eye on that. My
okay.
chair is away from, so it's not banging into it. And then I have another one over there, right in the corner over there. So we'll see.
Well,
Uh,
you're in your live from Cape Cod. You're in your daughter's office down in town, and it's been reported to be a very haunted location. And even if it wasn't, you kind of travel with your own
I kind of do. Yeah.
spirit posse.
And I
So
don't know who's here. I would really love to know who it is. So if anybody's here and you'd like to come be on the Rev show, you don't have to even, he won't invite you. You just show up. It'd
I
be
know what I
great.
want to ask you. I'm going to take
Yeah.
advantage of having you as a captive
Okay.
audience for a second here.
All right.
And you know who's been? It's like um, I'll type in something and there's no reason why his picture would pop up or his old profile would pop up, or I'd go somewhere else and you would never think something about him would pop up, and it does. But
Mhm.
recently he's popped up a few times and I'm thinking, does he have a message for me or maybe for Susan? Have you heard or felt Brett?
Oh, Brett. Interesting. No, I haven't. Like I was picking him up very strongly and then it just kind of faded. So we'll ask. We'll see if Brett's busy tonight. Oh, that
I
would
was
be
always
like old
wondering
times. I love
if
Brett.
he ever maybe sent any messages to anybody behind that was trying to help him find all that money.
Right, right. Because Brett crossed over. If anybody was
Oh,
wondering, Brett was a
good.
wonderful friend that I never met. Um,
We
and
grew
but
up
he's
together.
yeah, and you guys grew up together. But his energy was just so lovely. And then we were picking up something, and I was picking up. I was like, "Have you talked to Brett?" I was getting like this angst feeling, and then he had passed, and we didn't know. So yeah, so that was sad.
And somewhere, I promise you're probably going to be, when I start talking about this, you're probably going to go, is he going to go there again? How many
Oh
times have
my God,
we
what are we
talked
talking
about
about
this over and
now?
over and over again? And I won't go there, but every time I do go there, and it's not that often anymore, but every time I do go there, you'd be
Mhm.
surprised after the show's over how many messages I get from people going, OMG, I did not know that about Susan. Tell me more. She was so tight-lipped about it. Um, and it's not a love question. I know you're proud of it.
Well, there's nothing to answer on that one either. Sorry.
Um, I was watching. The reason why I'm bringing it up because it's just so weird that was it last night or I think it was in the wee hours of last night, maybe the night before. I'm flipping the stations around and I stumble upon some old episodes, not that old, like last year episodes of The Unexplained with William Shatner. One show that I all of a sudden it's just starting. Why I happen to catch it, and it's all about near-death experiences, survivors, and all that. And I just thought interesting how this would I would stumble upon this old episode of this show that I've never seen with Susan coming on Monday. And for those of you that don't know, you always say five. I stand firm with my line. I draw my line in the sand and stand firm that it's been like 7 times you've died, and they said no, we don't have room for you and kicked you back out. And every time you were sensitive when you were a child, but whenever I bring that up, if we don't talk much about it, I get a lot of people reaching out after me wanting to talk about it because come on,
Yeah.
that's pretty. I was watching the show and I'm like, why isn't Susan on this episode? How did the producers that work for Captain Kirk miss her? Because not nobody else on that episode
Yeah.
had nearly the story as intriguing and as interesting as your story when it comes to all of that. So now I'm just going to shut up and have you tell people because I'm telling you, next to a very close second, if not tied, behind Rev, do you think it's the end of the world? Are we in end times? Right behind that is wanting to know about people's near death experiences because people want to know, is this all for naught? Is my faith or my belief in the afterlife all for naught? Or is there really something else? And I'm here to tell you, well, people know what they're going to get out of me. But I think we should go down that road again. And if you don't want to, that's okay.
No,
But I'm
no,
telling you, a lot
that's
of
fine.
people.
I get tired of saying it because I feel like everyone's heard it, so I don't bring it up, and it's like, oh yeah, I died, blah blah blah. You know, uh, what can I say? That's something new and different that I haven't said before. Well, that the rules are changing. I'm noticing that the rules are changing.
I'm
As
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just happen to notice we have a question there. Did you want
Oh,
to?
good.
Well, let me go. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Uh,
Oh, because usually they pop up, so I'm missing all the questions.
oh, Zach is. He's probably maybe he's having some issues and he can't see them. So
We
I
know
will.
Zach has issues.
Uh, yeah, well, that would be way TMI for my
That's
audience.
another
We don't
show.
want to go into
That's
that.
another show.
But let me see
Okay,
here. I've got
we'll
one
read them.
from. Well, the only one I see first is from an Ann, ANN, Iva, IVA. She says, "Do you see a romantic relationship for me this year, please,
All right, we're gonna do the one
or
card trick.
maybe any time frame?"
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, let's just call on the love question. I'm using the Angels of Atlantis cards. I love these. They're very helpful. They're a good one and done oracle card, and they really seem to hit home. So let's talk about what it is that you need to know about love and around that. Cleansing. Interesting. Raphael. Um, so you got some baggage we got to clean out, we got to get rid of that, and it's maybe keeping you from moving forward, and that usually is the big thing that does keep us from moving forward is the old experiences that we've had that um keep us either in fear or it's fear. It's fear of not being good enough. It's that rejection. It's making bad choices again and again and again. So something needs to be cleared for you. And so I would sit and I would meditate. I would ask um, Archangel Raphael to come to you. There's beautiful colors here. The green is the emerald green is the color for Raphael. So think about that, um, and pull that in. You'll get your answer. You may not like it because it may take work. It may take being brave to step in the arena again. And I feel like you might not trust yourself to make the right decision. And so those are all things that need to be cleansed and released so that you can move on. Good luck. Let us know.
Yeah, please, Anne, keep us posted. You can you can get in contact with Susan. You can send me a private message on Facebook. I'm not sure if we're Facebook friends or not, but yes, please, Anne, keep us posted on that. Okay, your next one is from a friend of mine. I've known her for a while, not personally. We've been Facebook friends for a while. Linda, Linda Wenzel. Hopefully, I didn't mispronounce your last name, Linda. Wenzel. She says, Susan, what do you see happening in my life, love wise, and generally overall?
Mm, okay. Do-do-do. Interesting. So we pulled Raphael. I'm trying to get out of the glare here. It says meditation. So it's about going within. That's is that moment of pulling in your energy and finding, or not finding, but figuring out what it is that you need, you want, you desire, and then check in and say, "Am I receiving these things? What am I getting? What am I not getting?" Do that checklist, especially when we're in this time of hibernation. Wintertime is the hibernation time. It's that moment, that time to go in before spring comes and pushes its way through the ground. And so if we can take this moment to kind of sit within and see what you may be perfect. You may be right where you need to be, but you're the only one that knows if you're getting what it is that you deserve. I don't want like I hate using that word deserve, um but what is just for you, what is working for you and makes you thrive, I would go with that. And they're saying to take that quiet time because if you're looking outside, like I can't tell you what that is. You can tell you what that is. I can't tell you what that is. So that's what I would do. I would go Raphael, pray to Raphael, and it's meditation.
Very, very cool. Linda, keep me posted. You got my, I'm almost 100% positive Linda and I are Facebook friends.
Hmm.
So, Linda, you can send me a private message, keep me posted on your progress there, or you can reach out to Susan.
Yeah.
I got another one for you here.
Hmm.
Robin Holt, Robin Holt, Holt. My partner of 20 years passed away. I'm sorry, Robin, but never got a divorce. Now I wonder if he still had some feelings or still wanted her. My partner of 20 years passed away.
So they passed
With
before
a
they could
divorce.
finalize the divorce.
Yeah. Now I wonder if he still had some feelings or still wanted her.
Okay. So my question would be, why does that matter? Because I'm not thinking, I think there's something unresolved for her. She needs to, there's some resolution that needs to go there. Because if you're still bringing that up, then there's something happening there for you. And you're not going to find peace. Um, so even if he were to come back and say, yes, I still was madly in love with you, which I think that there is always love there. Even if there's discord there was a reason why two people came together, and that was love. And then life gets in the way, but I don't think love stops. I think love can, well, if there's no love, then there'd be no discord. There'd be no reason to fight because you just then don't care and there's no reason to fight. But that's why we do. And so um through choices and good choices and bad choices, you made the decision to split. I think he still loved you. But my question would be, why are you asking that question? So I'm
She
going to
says
pull.
he changed all the beneficiary from her son to her.
Okay. Maybe she thought at that point that her son wasn't going to make good choices and was moving it back to her. I think you can't second guess what's happening with people before they die. And when they get to the other side, of course he loves you. He loves you very much on the other side. You're the mother of his children. Um, I pulled Sandalphon, and this is evolution. And there's 12 chakras or 12 orbs that you need to evolve over and through to get to a place where you come into a place of comfort, that you'll realize that those answers don't really mean anything, that you will know what, you know, you just will know when you get to a place of that quiet stillness within you. You'll go, yeah, he did love me. Of course he loved me. He may have, there may have been stuff in the way, but yeah, he did. But I would look deeply into this and go through what you need to move through, because there's still some pain there for you. And I'd like to see you free of that. You don't need to carry that around.
Very good. Yeah, Zach popped in here in the chat room, says that he can't bring any questions up on screen. He's very sorry. Don't worry about it, brother. It happens. Yeah, Comcast has got to getting their act together. And then they had that was pretty scary. What happened on the East Coast with everybody's
Right?
phone service and internet service and all that
Mhm.
going out? I saw an alarming. Well, it just goes to show.
It's a
Some expert
test.
was on. Just goes
Mhm.
to show. The expert was saying just how vulnerable
Oh, completely.
our grid and stuff is. I think there's more to what happened there than they're letting on. But some other guy came on, and you never know if they're just trying to scare people. And if they're trying to scare people, what good does it do? But he said that if 90% of the people on the East Coast, if it went out indefinitely, would perish.
Well, because
Uh,
everybody does everything online. Everything. And I was in the middle of doing my taxes, and I'm like, it froze everything up. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really want to do them anyways. So I thought it was a win. I just walked away and went, score. That was divine intervention. Susan, you no longer need to do your taxes. I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Yep. So I went out
Well,
my
as
way.
I'm bugging you about
Yes.
this, if you happen to, if Brett happens to pop in,
Oh,
let me
right.
know. But
Oh, I would love that.
your near-death experiences, uh, I think people will find them. I'm almost
All right.
positive there's a bunch of people that haven't heard about it because, like I
What's
said,
which one's your favorite
I love them all. I love the one when you're a little girl. I think that
on the
connection
on the
between your
fence?
mother and you. Yeah, I
That is
love
a cool
the
one.
lightning's being hit by lightning twice.
Mm.
I love the being hit by a car and run over once. I love the um, all of them. The one with
Okay.
your you died during childbirth, you giving birth, that is,
Yeah.
bleeding out, and just a bunch. They're all. I love them all. And then
Okay.
you had a house fall on you. Um,
So
um,
it was a ceiling, and I
well,
wasn't
yeah,
wearing red shoes that day. It wasn't that same day.
yeah.
Okay, so how about that one? All right, so we'll go with um I was about 8 years old, and the neighborhood kids, we all used to gather around and play. And most of them, I was like the small. They used to call me small fry. I was just tiny, and I was the youngest. And we were all we had train tracks behind our house. It sounds so horrible. It's like I think about it, I cringe. And it was separated. We had a fence and then a field, and then there was the train tracks. And when we'd hear the train, he'd blow the whistle. The poor conductor, I we should say special prayers for him because he's probably insane now. Just I would be afraid knowing that, oh, those damn kids in that neighborhood we were like racing to try and get the train. What we were going to do when we caught the train, I don't know. We didn't think that far ahead because we were kids. But so I was pretty wily. I was a pretty wily little kid, and I would run and I'd get up the fence to try and climb over the fence, and it was old wood picket fence. What was it, like a stockade fence? What's that, 6, 8 feet? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Um, And so I'd climb up and one of the boys would yank me down because we're racing. This is a win-win situation. We had to win to get this. And I'd climb up and they'd pull me down and climb up and I'd get knocked off again. And I was the last kid over every single time. But this time, my foot slipped. My little sneak, I could see my little red sneakers, and it slipped and I twisted, and I had a hood on, a hoodie. It was zippered up blue zipper. He could remember everything. When I go over it, I see everything just perfectly. And I can even remember the grain in the wood. That's like how significant that moment was. Um, so, anyways, I slipped, I rotated, and my hood got caught. And I was kind of happy at first because I didn't fall, but now I'm dangling. I'm hanging myself with my little hoodie. And I remember just going. Um, I remember struggling trying to get the zipper down, but the pressure of my body on top of the zipper wouldn't let it. I couldn't do it. And my little arms, I couldn't unhook my hood. That wasn't happening. And happened to be behind the garage, so you couldn't see anything from the house. And my mother was in doing the dishes, and she could look out the window, but she didn't see anything because I'm, hanging on the fence, dangling my little feet. And she didn't see anything, but she said she felt something. And it was just a very strange, panicky, just go out behind the garage. And that didn't make sense to my mother. Why would I go out behind the garage? And in turn realized at this point, like I couldn't unzip her, I can't unhook. I'm just pushing with my little feet, but my feet can't push me up. And I was starting to lose consciousness. And I remember the only thing that I can do is to think and send a message to my mother. So using ESP, I was going to tell her to come out behind the garage. So the message that I was sending was the message she heard. Go out behind the garage is all she heard. And that's what I'm like, come out behind the garage, come out behind the garage. And and then I lost consciousness, and I went, well, I tried the best that I could, and I wasn't afraid. I just was like, huh, well, I tried, like that was it. Um, and then I woke up, and she had picked me up. I don't remember this part, but she picked me up, and I was on the ground, on the grass, and she was shaking me. And I must have taken a breath and come back. And she was just madder than hell. First of all, madder than hell, in trouble once again. And she just said that I was the worst color purple she'd ever want to see. And my sister was there looking over, going, what did Susie do this time? And I was always in trouble. So, and she was the oldest sister. So if she wasn't getting in trouble, it was me. And she was like, I told you she was stupid, like just like sister siblings fighting. And yeah. And so that was the first time. But I found that to be so amazing that I thought at 8 years old, send ESP. Like I wasn't taught ESP. I don't know what ESP is. It's very Irish Catholic girl. We weren't taught that. So for that to be like my go-to, oh, I'm just going to use ESP and she'll come out and get me, was so cool about that lifetime. I thought that was neat.
That is very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else? And then and each near death experience was different. One wasn't the same as the other. There were just each were had different experiences. I never saw a white light with the one where I hung myself. I never saw I understood surrender. It was like, oh well, it's just there's certain things you can fight and this one isn't it. And I was comfortable with it. And that was the same as when I died during childbirth, delivering my last baby. I got to a point where I fought for that one. I fought to stay, and because I had just delivered a baby, I didn't want to leave. So I had 3 kids under the age of I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and then an infant. And so I was no way I was going to leave 3 children with my husband. Like there was just no way. He would like he was that guy that used to throw up when he'd change a diaper. So I was like, oh my God, I had 3 in diapers at one point, you know. No, with a 4-year-old, no, but 2 in diapers. But it was just like, oh. And so I was fighting really hard to stay alive on that one. And then I just came to a place in the surrender of it's time, Susan. It's you have to let go. It's just it's time. And so then um and so when you're it's interesting. Death starts before you die. So this death is occurring. There's this process, a pre-death, if you want to call it, before you die. That is part of the death process. And some people will mention it. You know, if you have a quick traumatic death, you're not going to have one of those. Um, and so I would agree that I had it when I was hanging. I was having this pre-death where, okay, I know that I'm trying to once again, I'm trying to hold on to life, but that it's elusive to the fact that I think you can try as hard as you want to, but at some point you're going to lose the game. Like you do have a little control over that. And I saw that with hmm, what one was that one? That was after I had passed had a clot. I had a clot after surgery, and I had passed it through my heart, and yeah, that stopped that one.
Wow.
Um, and I fought that one too. So I guess I am a fighter, right? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not today. And that was only because I didn't want to die in the toilet and anybody find me. So that was just pure vanity. But I was like, I am not dying here. Just at least let me pull up my pants and get around the corner. I am not dying in the bathroom. And I was adamant about that. And um, you get to a point where you can't hold on any longer. I couldn't. I was like, no, no, no. And then I just stopped breathing and my heart stopped and that was it. Um, and I don't know what there was no big epiphany with that one coming back. Like I didn't like see anything amazing. I just was it was the fight that was interesting. The fight was the same kind of the same thing. That was the running theme was there was a fight to not die. And then the fight to um which one am I on?
You
Let's
did
see.
you did the hanging. You
Hanging,
did the during
birth.
childbirth or
Yep,
bleeding out.
yep.
You did the another surgery you
On the
had
toilet.
where you were on the toilet.
Toilet one.
And then
Uh,
I remember like we joked about the house falling on you, but
yeah, the
you had that one.
ceiling.
You
Yeah,
had the
that
hit
one.
by a car. You used to be a cop,
Yep,
so then you got hit by a car,
yep.
and I like that one. That's a good one.
You like it when I got hit by a car?
Yeah.
All right. So well that led up to so it was the surgery after being hit by a car that that I had problems with the passing of the clot thing. Um
So think about that. That's so weird. You probably should have not come back after being hit
right,
by the car,
right.
and then now you're recovering from the surgery you had because of that, and we almost lost you again.
Yeah.
It's
So a
it.
year after that. Yeah, I almost. Yeah.
So you get hit by a car,
Yep.
um, and I
Well, that one wasn't too bad. Like I just got hit by the car. Um
yeah, that's just getting
that
hit
one's
by the car is not bad.
that one wasn't that bad.
Had you been
It was
hit and then got hit by another, or you caused a pile up and everything, that would
yeah,
be
right.
worse.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just getting hit by
Just
the
got
car is not a big
no,
deal.
not really a big deal. But
Then
it was when
that's right, you were in a car accident.
I was a passenger in the car and the driver's head, it was right before it was Christmas Eve and we were racing out to get last minute stuff and we had to go to the parts store. Long story for that one. Um, and like you have stuff. There's always like a pile. There's either a laundry pile or a dirty pile. And then I still had to wrap presents and I had to cook food, and this all was going through my mind. It was crazy what you think of when you're dying. And so I'm in a passenger in the car. We get struck by we were in a truck, and we got struck by another truck, hit us broadside and spun us around. And as we're spinning, which is very interesting when you're in a vehicle and it's just going around, and there's things like mailbox, pole, mailbox, pole, like you're just kind of like, it's crazy because your brain's trying to understand what's happening. And I had Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut coffee in my hand, and that's so funny. And so I had that all over me because that's and the driver's head hit the steering wheel, and when it bounced off the steering wheel, it hit my heart, and I got a cardiac thump, and with that, it stopped my heart immediately. And but I'm just still sitting there watching the mailbox go round and my coffee flying through the air, and so everything was in slow motion. But it was, once again, it's the death process. It's the pre-death that um, is happening at the same time. And I remember this was the crazy. This one was kind of crazy. I don't know if I've shared this part, but I remember that I had a near death, not a near death. I had a past life with my partner that was driving in another lifetime. And the first thing that came to me was, oh my God, he killed me again.
Oh
So
no.
in this near death, the past life, I, clearly he killed me at that lifetime. And then, not intentionally, now I'm dead again. And so it was very interesting. There was a lot to work out on that one.
Did
Um,
you ever tell him? Did he survive that car accident?
he did. He did.
Did you ever tell him that?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to tell somebody. And
Yeah.
I think we may have discussed it um because it was trippy for me. I was like, like, well, I was like, I don't want to be near you. It's kind of scary. You killed me once, you killed me twice. Kill me the third time, I'm the fool, right? So I'm like, But it was, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes through your head when you have that epiphany, that realization, like, oh my God, this isn't the first time. And so that lifetime was flashing really fast, the past life, and then this lifetime, and then thinking about my laundry and cooking and how I can't leave the kids. It's Christmas Eve. Like, who dies on Christmas Eve? You don't do that. I have three children. Um, an ex-husband at this point that I'm still not sure is going to be able to take the kids and raise them, even though they're older now. And yeah, you don't do that. I was really mad. I remember just being really mad at God. And but before I realized that I'm dying, uh, the truck stops, we stop spinning, and I kind of am lifting out of my body, and I'm now half in the cab and half out of the cab. And I remember just like looking around, going, what am I doing up here? Like, this is a weird place to land or to be. And it was very confusing. And then I remember looking down and I could see through the cab, which was really tricky because I couldn't do that before. So I'm like, how can I be looking through the cab? And it's, once again, it's quantum. Everything is like zipping past you really fast. And I'm seeing him all slumped over, and I'm seeing my feet dangle, but I'm still attached to the girl that's sitting in the truck, which I'm like, is that me? Like, it's just confusing. And then I realized, I was like, oh shit, I'm dead again. Can I say shit? I said the F word. Actually, I didn't say shit. But because everything was very quiet. I'm just kind of hovering. I was just about to leave my body, almost there, almost made it. And everything was really quiet. The body makes a lot of noise, the heart beating and the blood pumping and your stomach gurgling and everything is processing. It makes a lot of noise. So when that stops, it's like, oh, what's happening? Sounds weird. You're kind of like, what's going on? And then that's how I realized. I went, ah, I'm dead again. I remember this. I dead again. And so That's when I got mad. I went, "Oh, hell no. I am not going. I am not going this time." And I think the intensity of my, um I just was so angry and so mad, like, this is not happening. I am just not doing this. This is not even a discussion. I came back into my body. I think that that release of adrenaline kicked my heart into gear and I started breathing again. And that's when the pain, oh my God, the pain. So life is painful. I will tell that to people. Life is painful. There was peace. I was not in any pain. It was like, that wasn't like, oh, I'm in so much pain. I just died. There's none of that. I was like, what's going on? I'm do hanging outside the truck, just kind of hanging there. That wasn't what got my attention. But I do remember having a conversation with someone that was there. I don't remember what they looked like, but I was like, I'm not going. You can take me tomorrow or like the next day after Christmas, fine. But you're not going to ruin Christmas for my kids. And I was really adamant about that. And I probably have to apologize when I get up there and say, sorry, I was a little sensitive. It was a little, I was kind of dead and it was Christmas. Hope you understand. Um, but they have been very good to me, whomever is in charge.
Yeah, I don't have the statistics in front of me on, what the chance of getting hit by lightning. So, but it has to be off the charts for it to happen twice.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
think it's 1 in 60,000.
so you've been hit by it twice. Um,
Right. So that's probably 1 in, I don't even know, what, 10,000 maybe? We'll have Zach do the numbers. Zach, do the numbers.
and so talk to us about getting hit by lightning twice and surviving.
It's not what you'd expect. Once again, it's not, we have these fears in our mind. And when they actually happen, you're like, oh, that's nothing like it was. I thought it was going to be. Um, First time I was 16, I was working at a fish market in Chatham, and we used to get really good thunderstorms in the summertime. And being
Back in
right
the 80s,
there in
yeah.
the corner of the last part of
The
the world.
thunderstorms, I remember growing up in Colts Neck, New Jersey, and to this day, I mean, we get some monsoons here in Vegas
Mm.
and get like, flash floods, and sometimes the thunderstorms can be quite violent here. But I don't remember them being nearly as violent as some of the storms that I experienced growing up on the East Coast. Really scary.
Yeah. So it was in the middle of the day. I was working in the fish market, so I was wet, but we had I had a rubber bib on, and I had, my fisherman boots on, and but you just get wet. You're working in water, fish. Um, and I was taking a break and I went into the office and I was sitting down on those metal fold out chairs, nothing fancy. And there was the owner's wife who was in the office, and she was um, uh, no, it wasn't his wife. It was the she wasn't married to him. She was married to one of the guys that worked there. And then there was the owner's brother that was in the room as well. And but he had his Grundens on, so he had a full bibs pants on, the front. And so he was wet too. The girl that worked in the office, she was not wet, but the lightning struck across the street. It hit a transformer, and then it came through the glass into the room, like what are the odds? And um, it was like almost like you would imagine like a comet. It was just like this ball of light that just came through the room in one side, kind of tore up the room, and then left through another plate glass window. It's like a slider thing, and it just kind of and he went like straight up. It was so cool. He was standing like this, and he just went whoop whoop. His knees never bent, nothing. He just went up and he went down. And I was sitting on the chair, so it went through the chair and then out my finger. So this finger
Wow.
always is it'll get frostbite first. It's got some nerve damage, a little bit of nerve damage, but not bad. Um and my heart got zapped. I was for 3 days. I was like, and I never went. We never went to the hospital. Never went to get checked out. It was like back then you didn't. You didn't go anywhere. It's like a 45-minute ride to go to the hospital. So I was like, no, I'm fine. I think I'm fine. And you really do think you're fine. You're like, it's like a frontal lobotomy. You are like fried.
Yeah.
Like, do you want this? Sure. Do you want this? It's a stick with poo on it. Sure. I'll have that. Like, you're just like, everything's happy day. You're just like, sure. Um, but yeah, we all got zapped. Everybody that was in that room got zapped. And
And that web must have happened. Uh, was that before or after the time that you got zapped in front of your children?
that was the first time. That's when I was 16. So then, um, I don't know, about 20 years ago, I was doing laundry. It was in the summertime again. And we were having, like, I'd do the laundry, I'd put it out, I hang it out in the line, and then the storm would come and then it get it wet. And then I'd have to wash them again. And then it was like, I washed this laundry like 3 times and I was not going to do it again. And so I heard the storm coming, but it hadn't started to rain yet. But the ground was moist. And I'm like racing out there to try and get the laundry out off the line. And I was between the metal bulkhead and this big tree, this big oak tree. And I stepped off the wooden deck onto the wet grass in between the tree and the metal, and the electricity came up from the ground and just surrounded me. It was just amazing, like from a scientific point of view, to be able to experience and express that. You could just feel it. It was just like, it came up and went around, and then everything stopped in my body. Like my brain just went, "Meh." I could look and I could see, but I couldn't speak. And I wanted to tell my son to not come because I could feel it coming and it hadn't completely engulfed me yet. And I just went, stop. I don't think I said stop. I just went, stop. And then that was it. And he just stood there looking, and I could see his reaction. And I was aware that that didn't look like a good reaction, but that I guess my hair went up and everything went up. And then it kind of hung out there. I remember the bzzz, this electricity sound, and then it just faded. It just as quick as it went up, it went down the same way, out through the ground, and then that was it. And I was toast again for another week. I was like, you just get brain fried. And there was no entrance exit, I don't believe. I don't doubt I didn't I don't really remember anything after that for a while. I should have. The kids kept saying, "Mom, should we take you? Mom, should we take you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." So if anybody ever you even think they got hit by lightning, if they say they're fine, they probably aren't. Just drag them. Take them to the hospital.
Okay, I got to ask you this.
Okay.
Um, it has to do with sure it could just be these things happen and it is what it is and you're lucky to be alive. It could also be these things happen but you're still here because of divine intervention. Let's go with that. If that's the case, do you ever feel um, for lack of a better term like survivor's remorse in terms of all these things have happened to you, why you, and do you feel you are at the place you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to do, or do you ever feel guilty like, well, with all these chances I've been giving, I sure hope I'm making good? Do you ever feel that?
Um, well, I trust that I am where I'm supposed to be. Like my guides are reminding me daily that, this may not feel good today, but it's where it needs to happen. You need to be here. You need to experience that. You need to see this or that. Yeah, I've been in like places and things have happened, working as a firefighter and a police officer, you come across situations and you come across danger in like places that you would run into where everyone else is not going to go. And um I feel like those are the times that, like, random times where I'm not working and I come across something, and I'm like, well, don't you come across times when you have to rescue and save people? And they're like, no, that never happens. And I'm like, really? Because that happens to me all the time. I'll be on a way to a grocery store and I'm, I come across an accident, or I'm on my way to a concert and I come across an accident. Um, and it's life or death. It's not just like, oh, it's a, little fender bender. These are life or death situations that I just happen to be at the right place at the right time. And yeah, so no, I feel like that's kind of my mission, that to be most, where I'm most needed. I think I just end up being there. So I trust that. I trust that it is. And um I'm here for a reason. And when I do something stupid, I'm always like, well, you asked me to be here, so
Hey,
what?
Susan, I would like to ask you a question. I typed it in there, but
Oh, okay.
when you oh no, I'm so sorry about all the problems that I'm having internet wise, so I do apologize. Um, but when your accidents happen and you woke up, did you know immediately that you were alive? Because I remember after my accident, I wasn't quite sure until I felt the pain, and then I knew I was alive.
When you feel the pain, that's the yeah. So after I delivered my baby, that time I did see the white light. There wasn't this big tunnel. I was like, "Oh, I'm going there." There was no question. Some people aren't trusting with that. They maybe they
Are
don't
you
have a
are
good.
you the one that saw the angel? You said somebody. I know one of my friends had a near-death experience where somebody came into the room and they clearly felt it was an angel. Is that
Well, of
you?
course I did.
I
It's Adrian.
I didn't see an angel, but I sat on the Blessed Mother's lap.
Oh,
Actually, it
how cool
was
is
so
that?
nice. Oh yeah, she's so cool. Um, and but I was guided. There were guides. There were angelic guides, two of them that took me to that space, this big room, and I was wearing they looked like white pajamas, like white cotton old lady pajamas, the old Polly Flinders dress type of thing. And so, which I didn't have on. So I'm like, what am I in this for? I'm like, oh, it's kind of cute, not bad. And I was just very youthful, very young energy, and I thought I was gonna have a party. No one told me I was gonna have a party. I assumed there was gonna be a party wherever I was going, and everyone was gonna be there, and I was gonna meet up with. It was just like an understanding that you get there and you meet up with the people, my people. And it was very foggy, and you could see people through the fog, but you couldn't see them. Like, I couldn't tell you who they were. They were like shadow people through the fog. And but she was the only one that I could see clearly. And so I walked over to her and I was pouting, and I was like, I want, I hear him whining that I want my party, and where's everybody, and why is nobody here? And she was so sweet. She was just like the ultimate mother, just kind of reassuring me that they still loved me, because I was like, that's what it was feeling. And she, everybody still loves you. You're still fine. There just happened to be kind of a mistake that you weren't supposed to come just yet. And I was like, "I don't get it. Heaven makes mistakes?" Like, that blew my mind. I didn't realize that heaven makes mistakes. Um, and she giggled. She kinda thought that was cute. And she said that the timing didn't line up. So I'm wondering if those timelines that can get snags, or something, shorts in our internet. And so it wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to die, if but because I made it all the way to the other side, I could stay if I wanted to, or they would send me back. but it would be my choice completely, and to know that I was loved and that she would love to have me. And so she asked me to go with these two other angelic guides. And although I don't remember wings, I we just kind of teleported around, like it was. Um, so we left that space and we went to another space, kind of just zipped over. It's like with a breath or a blink of an eye, you were someplace else. And and they said, you need to watch this. And it was like a dark theater. It was just the three of us. And I was watching my life, past, present, and future, what was happening, what had happened, um, all at the same time. Our minds can handle that. I can't handle it today, but um, my mind was able to watch three things and understand each one clearly. And then I realized I saw something, I witnessed something in the future that I had to get back here for. I was like, "Oh my god, I have to get back. I have to get back right now. It's late. I'm already late." So, it felt like everything lines up perfectly that in our planned world, and every now and then there may be a hiccup. So, with that, I there was no question, there was no lollygagging around. Within my next breath, I shot back down, landed. It felt like dropping from the Empire State Building onto glass and nails and shards of anything heavy and awful. Oh, it was just the worst feeling. And every cell in my body then came alive again. So I dropped. I took my breath. That's what I guess was made me take my breath, that breath. And I just remembered my lungs felt like they were bleeding, like every cell has to then reconnect to energy because I was dead. The energy stopped. So that fired back up again. And I just remember going, oh, and I swear again, I went F word. I chose this. Like, why did I choose this? This is so painful. I just came from the best place ever and I chose this to come back. So there was a real importance to being here. And I was a part of it. I don't not that I was the star of it, but I knew that somebody's life or several people's lives or whatever, or even my own life was important that I needed to be here. And so that was cool. But I would love to hear from somebody else if they've felt that same energetic reboot when their cells start to come alive again. I haven't heard anybody say that yet. So, but
Well, I think what I'm going to do next month is bug you. We didn't get to talk about haunted objects today.
we
You sent me
didn't.
a
We'll
wonderful
save it.
article that I read. We'll save it for next
Yeah,
time.
it's not going
And
anywhere.
what else do I want to talk to you about next time? Um, well, I'll think about it when the time comes. Oh, so before I let you go,
Hmm.
make sure everybody knows how to reach you. You have a beautiful Facebook page, Happy Medium, all one word, Facebook page. But then you have Cape Cod Happy Medium, all one word.com.
Yep.
And you have a big event tomorrow. If
I
you can
do.
travel to Cape Cod or you're in that area and you want to see Susan, tell them
Oh,
about
please.
tomorrow's event.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. It's beautiful here in the summertime. Um, and I'm here. Come
Yeah.
come do a tea leaf reading class or a table tipping class. Yeah, so
But I think
it'd be nice
tomorrow
to
you
see
have an
you.
event, the 27th, don't you?
Yeah, it's table tipping.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yep,
right.
table tipping, and so we'll connect with people on the other side and get messages from guides and loving messages from loved ones that have passed. So yeah, I can't believe it.
All
It's been an
righty.
hour. Boo.
Sometimes we get a lot of people that want to know what's going on, what's happening with me in my life, and sometimes it's quiet, and I like it either way. I like it when we're helping people, and I like to get a chance to chat with you because I only really do it once a month. I get a chance.
Yeah.
Sometimes that month that day comes, Happy Medium Monday comes, and there's so many people that want readings from you that I don't get the chance to talk to you. So I like it either way. If you get a lot of readings or if we don't, then I get to catch up with you. So I will. You and I will talk a lot. We send each other messages back and forth a lot throughout the month, but I'm looking forward to seeing you. Are you here the last Monday of next month?
Yes, next month I am.
Okay, let's double
Yep.
check.
March and April, unless you're not going to be here.
Yep, you're going to be here March 25th, and you're right, April too. So I'll
Yeah.
get to see you the next 2 months. I love
Woohoo.
you. I
Love
respect
you
you.
too.
Sharon told me to tell you hi,
Hi, Sharon.
and I'll see you next month.
All right. Love you guys. Bye,
God bless
Zach.
you. See you later. Bye bye. Okie dokie. Susan Ahern, the happy medium from Cape Cod. CapeCodHappyMedium.com. Check it out. Like I said, if you can travel to Cape Cod, or you're going to be traveling through there, or you're near there and you want to see her, check her out. She's got her a big table tipping event tomorrow. She does the tea leaf reading thing and the table tipping events and other ghost hunting, ghost busting events at like Cafe Venice and all that sort of stuff. Lots of cool things going on. Okay. If you want to know anything about the church that I belong to, United States Old Catholic Church, go to the website, usocc.org or bishopjameslong.com. You'll find the links to Bible study and night prayer there if you're interested in those. We got a big retreat coming, uh, St. Patrick's Day weekend, March 14th through the 17th. We will be at Todd Hall Retreat Center in Columbia, Illinois, where myself and two other deacons will be ordained to the priesthood. Very exciting. And then me and a couple of sisters, we will be taking our final permanent perpetual vows into the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. So that's going to be and everybody's invited. If you can get to Columbia, Illinois, to Todd Hall Retreat Center, St. Patrick's Day weekend, you're all invited. Um, Check out Zach's website, communitypayitforward.us. Just go there, be pleasantly surprised. Next week's guest, this coming Friday, March 1st, is Christian Supernatural with Ira Wolfnison, demonologist and author. That's a great show that's once a month, every first Friday with Ira. Eli Roth presents the Legion of Exorcists. If you got on demand, you can get it now for free on Travel HD on demand, but it's still streaming at Discovery Plus and Max and a lot of other streaming services if you want to check that out. No word yet on a season two. Still getting a lot of messages from people, private emails. Sharon gets private messages, emails at my website, people wanting to know, where did you disappear to? I didn't disappear. My original profile got hacked and deactivated. So I'm on Facebook now as Lawrence Morais. If you were one of my 5,000 Facebook friends from before and we got disconnected, if you still want to stay in touch, send me a friend request. I look forward to reconnecting. Thank you to Parapost Network Central. Thank you to Things Network. Thank you to Pact, little P, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel. Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment, and Spirit, Alabama. Thank you to all those networks for simulcasting my show. God bless you all for that. And I'm going to pull a bad joke that one of you sent in out of this haunted carnival barker I had. It's bad joke time. Okay, this is the bad joke one of you sent in that I pulled out of my haunted carnival barker hat. My poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodnight. What was the mummy's favorite type of music? Rap. Good night. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Jack. Good night, Danny. Good night, Dog. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen.